Bonjour mes amis, et bienvenue en Pendu dans la Lune. Hello friends. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, I'm sure you know from my attempt at a French introduction to this video that this is my series in which I use Tarot de Marseille, antique Italian decks, or Tarot de Marseille, antique Italian deck adjacent decks to answer a question that I pull from my larger, primarily Rider-Waite-Smith based deck, spread of the week. So I do that spread. And the spread this week, I titled The Eternal Student. Now, there are different ways of understanding eternal student, some positive, some negative. We're looking at the positive side of the eternal student, the one who is constantly curious and interested in discovering and exploring the world around them. The eternal student, not the one who is constantly taking classes and is almost addicted to receiving degrees and certificates and that kind of thing. There's that negative understanding of the eternal student. We're looking at the positive, the curious one, the one who wants to learn every day, every moment of their lives. So, we read that, and it was very interesting. And if you haven't seen that video, I suggest going to see that video so that you know where this is coming from. And I will put a card up here for you to click on and hop over to that video so you get a sense of why I'm asking the question I'm about to ask. In that spread, the page of discs, page of Pentacles, showed up 3 times. One from each of 3 decks. So that was a very important thing, right? That's 3 decks together trying to make a really strong point. And so, that was interesting. But also at the end of the spread, near the end of the spread, the page of Pentacles and the page of Wands were together in a very important part of the spread. And so, I was curious about that. And I talked a lot about that balance, not balancing so much, but the alchemy of bringing together the page of Pentacles and page of Wands and the beautiful, powerful being that could emerge from that alchemical mix. So I'm curious about that. I wanted a little bit of confirmation about that. I wanted to find out, who do we become at the intersection of the pages of Pentacles and Wands? So we have the page of Pentacles, the page of Wands. When those two meet, who do we become? So let me read that question for you once more. Who do we become at the intersection of the pages of Pentacles and Wands? So I'm going to show you that question all written out nice and pretty, and then I'll show you the cards that came up from in the spread, and then we'll talk about it. Take a look. What do you think of the deck I used? Do you know it? This is the Noblet deck, which was produced by Artisan Tarot, a wonderful group of tarot reconstructing people. They've put out, let's see, 4 decks that I know. They're working on a 5th. The 5th one is not really a redrawing of an antique deck. It's a new creation by a modern day artist, which I'm probably going to end up getting. I haven't gotten it yet. But the 4 that they've done so far, as far as restorations and redrawings of antique decks, are the Nicholas Convert, which is a wonderful deck. And I have it, I used that last week, I think. This next one is the Noblet, which I used this week. The 3rd is the Dodal, which I have up here. And then the 4th is one that I'm still waiting for. It's the Vievi, which is a brilliant deck that was around the same time as the Noblet, I think. I mean, generally around the same time as the Noblet. But I used the Noblet, and the Noblet is a really, really petite deck. That's a bridge-sized deck. And I keep it in, well, my pouch is over there far away from me. I've got a green velvet pouch, which usually lives up here. That's where my Noblet lives. So I use the Noblet. And the Noblet is a deck from the early 1600s. It's, some people, I think, consider it type 1. I consider it type 0. I consider it in and of itself a different kind of Tarot de Marseille style deck. There are type 1, type 2, and then there's the Noblet. And the Viville is also another kind of deck, very different. Anyways, so the Noblet, a beautiful deck, quirky in some ways, fun in a lot of ways, and the cards that we got from the Noblet deck this time were, from left to right, the Two of Swords, the King of Discs, and then the Three of Cups. Which actually was dissatisfying for me. I was hoping for something else, actually. And I don't actually remember what it was I was hoping for, to tell you the truth. But I was actually hoping for some majors to show up. That's one thing I hoped. No majors. We got one court card and 2 pips, 2 minors. It was nice to have the King of Discs, the Pentacles, show up. But there are no wands, which is interesting. And then, after I looked at this spread and then sat with the spread, and I kept asking myself, why the King of Discs? Why is it the King of Discs? Then yesterday, it sprung to my mind. It's like, well, of course it's the King of Discs, silly man. And I'll get to that why in just a little bit. But first, let's look at the cards. Now, we see that the King of Discs was looking to his... Their body is pointed to the left, but looking to the right. Some people would say looking to the future. And sure, why not? So, we're going to read these cards as, who do we become is this person? And that's why I was saying, well, why is it the King of Discs? Right? I mean, we're asking about joining Pentacles and Wands. Why is it the King of Discs? So this is who we become. And we become this person by doing this and putting our attention here. By being this and putting our attention here. That's what I think this spread is trying to say. So, first let's look at where we should put, what we want to do, what do we want to be? We want to take on the properties of the Two of Swords. Now we see this beautiful thing growing in the center, right? This large flower with large leaves growing in this protected space between the 2 swords. So, what is the Two of Swords? To me, that's doing research, gathering information. It's developing insights, which is exactly what the pages of Wands and Discs, or Pentacles in Rider-Waite-Smith, that's what they do. Yeah, they gather information. They open themselves to learning. In fact, that's what all pages do in one way or another. So, researching, gathering information, developing insights, like a page of Wands might do. Gathering information like a page of Pentacles might do. Imagination and daydreams. That's more Page of Swords, but here, yeah, this is the sword suit, so when they come together, we might want to allow ourselves to daydream, to imagine, which was also part of that previous, my larger spread of the week. Yeah, allowing space to dream, to imagine, to allow intuition to appear. Preparation for a project is also part of the Two of Swords. Yeah, preparation. thinking about, planning about, that airy preparation for a project rather than the physical stuff of the two of discs perhaps, or the two of wands, getting your passions together, knocking the passions together for the spark of the three. Now, this is getting the thoughts together, getting the plans together. And it could be hopping from one subject to another. Yeah, these are two ideas that are trying to manipulate, work themselves out together, two swords together. But still, I think the primary idea is as we investigate these two ideas, we have space for imagination, developing insights, researching, gathering information. That's what I see as the Page of Pentacles and Page of Wands, as they unite to become one being. That's what they do. And so, if we do that, who do we become? We become the King of Discs. The king, who is the King of Discs? Now, this king has their disc in their hands. It's relatively small for this king. It's bigger in some of the other cards, but for this king, the king is the master, right? And so their element fits well in their hands, especially the King of Discs. Their element fits very nicely in their hands, and they're able to use it easily. So this is the person of abundance, of prosperity, of success, and security. Security of their physical environment, their health as well. Now we become that. We become the abundant one, the prosperous one. No matter how much money we have in our bank, we become the abundant one because we are secure in who we are. It doesn't mean that I'm abundant because I have this much money in the bank and I have this many things in my home. I'm abundant because of who I am. And I recognize the abundance of what is around me and what I have available to me. And that what I have available to me is enough, is sufficient, is more than sufficient, because it feeds my power. My power is based on nature and also contact with the earth. Both the earth sign, the Page of Discs, and the wands. The fire of the wands is fed by the physical realm, right? Connected to the earth as well. More so than the sword suits, which can be a little bit more disconnected. The fire suit, I think, though it is, for me, way above the earth, is still more connected to the earth than the air suits. So confidence, security, cautious but optimistic about what we are learning, what we are doing in the world. And looking for new achievements, looking for new ways of working with things in the world. Not manipulating things like being manipulative, but of manipulating, handling things, manipulating, mano, hands, manipulate, to move things with your hands. So in that sense, being manipulative, manipulating things. So that, if we have that, if we approach our lives as twos of swords, we do the research of the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands together, we realize our inner King of Discs, who is stable, but also looking for new achievements and new things to create in the world while maintaining the things that they already have. And so now, from that place, from that attitude, from that embodiment of the King of Discs, where do we place our attention? I'm going to get my cards back. Where do we place our attention? We place our attention on the Three of Cups. Three of Cups, emotional, also spiritual. For me, cups are also spiritual. I think I've mentioned that a couple times recently. I haven't said that very often. For me, the cups are yes, emotional, intuition, and also spirit. They're the Eucharistic chalice, the Holy Grail, that spiritual element of the suits. There's the fire of the spirit, the passionate spirit, and then there's the chalice of the spirit. So, new friends, new community, that interaction of emotions between me and you, creating a third. It's the spiritual interaction as well. Expressing our emotions as we unite, as we create a new emotional, spiritual, watery creation of the third. It's the birth of first love sometimes. So that would be something new. And that love could be a person. It could be something. It could be an object. It could be a new project. And it's also the freshness of it. Yeah, it's that new, the freshness of something new to be experienced, or a refreshment. Have you ever been working with someone or on a project and it's gotten kind of stale, but then you allowed yourself to open to a new experience of that person or a new experience of that project, and suddenly it's all new again? So that's where we want to place our attention, whether it's really something brand new or something that we want to experience anew, to appreciate anew, to investigate anew. It's fervent, youthful love. Intoxication with love. Again, for another person, but also with what we're doing and who we're being in the world. That's where we want to place our attention. On the emotional, spiritual connections. Why? Because everything that we do in this physical universe is a co-creation anyways. So looking at that as a new, with new eyes and with new appreciation is what that Three of Cups is. And experiencing it anew, and experiencing the depth and breadth and creating the new third from our interaction. That's where we want to place our attention as kings of our disc suits. So, as kings, we do this Two of Swords, studying, researching, gathering, developing insights. We own our stability and our ability to create, and our knowledge of our prosperity and our abundance, and our ability to work with things in the world, and also to create something new, to begin something new while maintaining what we already have. And then we place our attention on our connection with others, and our appreciation of what we're doing, and our love for what we're doing. And that our connection with others creates a new thing, a new emotional creation, a new love, a new whatever. That's what happens when our Page of Wands and our Page of Pentacles meets. That's who we become. It's a beautiful, powerful thing to become, right? And so now, he just jumped out of my hand and I'm not going to go get him. That King of Pentacles. Why did the King of Pentacles show up in answer to the combination of Pentacles and Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition? Well, so not everybody is going to agree with me about this, and I know a lot of people who are going to say, no! But I'm going to say it anyways. For me, and for a lot of people, really a lot of people, who are also interested in the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life and the understanding of there being 4 worlds, and that the Tree of Life moves in one world and then comes back down into the second world, into the third world, and the fourth world, and the first world is based on Yod, and the second world is based on the first He, and the third world is based on Val, which is a neutral letter, and then the last word is the second He, which brings us back up to the, okay, so all of that. If you envision all of that, usually, at least the way I learned it, the first world is the fire. It's the wands. And then we drop down into the second world, which is the cups, the water. And then the third world is the air. The fire and the water merge to bring forth air, which is cool and moist, which is warm and moist. Which is warm and moist. Fire is dry and hot. Water is cold and wet. They meet and they produce the first hot and wet, which is air. Yes, hot and wet, which is air. And then all three of them together bring the earth out. Malkut, the last world of discs. So, we had a fire and an earth suit meeting. Now that also translates onto the court cards, right? Each one of the court cards has their element. The wands, all the court cards are based in fire. All the cups cards are based in many systems, water. Of course, in some systems, the cups are air instead, but we're sticking with this one system that most of us use, I think. So the cups are water. The swords are air, and the pentacles, the discs, the coins are earth. I think we all agree on that. Here's where we differ. Now, the queens, I think all of us see as water. The pages we all see as earth. So a page of discs is earth of earth, right? A queen of discs is water of earth. I think almost all of us would agree on that. What a lot of us disagree on are the knights and the kings. The knights and the kings. To me, the kings, as being the master, the first, the beginner, are fire. The knights are air. The king and the queen merge together to create the knight. So the king of wands is fire of fire. The knight of wands is air of fire. In my system and in many people's systems, if you disagree, there are many people who agree with you, but there are many people who also agree with me. And that's the way that makes the most sense, given what I just mentioned to you. That the first world is the world of fire, moving down to water, moving down to air, moving down to earth. So the first world is the king, moving down to queen, moving down to knight, moving down to page. So, we had earth of earth and fire of earth. We had earth of earth and earth of fire meeting together, right? Page of wands, page of pentacles. So we had earth and fire meeting. Earth and fire could give us two things. One of them being the page of wands again, or if those two meet, maybe it becomes the fire of earth. The fire of earth for me is the king of discs. Does that make sense? Did I explain that clearly enough? I mean, did I explain it at all? So, after thinking about it, it struck me that, of course, it's the king of discs. It's fire of earth. Page of wands, page of discs, fire of earth. That's who we become. We become the king of discs. Right? Does that make sense? Whether you agree with my way of seeing the cards, does it make sense within my world of understanding? I hope so. So, that's who we become. We become the king of discs. Wonderful thing to be, a powerful thing to be, creative thing to be, as people living intentional lives. So, if that makes sense to you, friends, write it in the comments below, let me know. If it doesn't make sense to you, if you want to fight about it, don't write anything. But if you want to explain what you think and why you think it, I have heard it before and I understand it, but if you want to tell me, that's great. I'd love to discuss with you. If you want to ask me why I think the way I think, let me know in the comments below. I don't want to fight. I don't want to try to change your mind. I want to explain why this spread is being read the way it is. Because of the tarot worldview that I am reading through, the lens that I am reading with. So comment below, let me know. Also, if you haven't yet, hit the thumbs up button so that YouTube knows that you got something out of this and other people might. It brings more eyes to the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed, and hit the alarm so you get notifications of when I upload videos. I'm trying to do 3 a week, and I think I will continue, so you might want to get notifications of when I upload. And also, again, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If you want a private reading from me, my email address is in the description box. Send me an email and tell me I want a reading and we can get it for you. Oh, also, there will be a link to where you can get this deck, the Noblet from Artisan Tarot, or any of their other decks, in the description box below. So that's there for you. I don't get any money if you use that link. It's just there for your convenience and to help support these beautiful creators that I think are just amazing, and I love all of their work. And I hope you do too. So friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.